Hi, and welcome back to All Things Dentistry, where we teach you anything and everything about dentistry. I am Dr. Mpume Ndwandwe, and today we are talking about forensic dentistry. But before we go in there, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can get more episodes. So, today we have Dr. Nwanda Dlamini with us. How are you, Dr. Nwanda?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Dr.
I am
Ndwandwe?
awesome. Just tell us a little bit about yourself so people know who you are and what brings you here today.
Okay, I am Dr. Nwanda Dlamini. I currently work in state. I work at Prince Mshini Memorial Hospital as a dentist there, and I am currently doing my postgraduate studies in forensic dentistry with the University of the Western Cape, and this is my final year in my diploma.
That sounds super exciting. Like forensic dentistry, I bet there's a whole lot of people that didn't even know that existed.
Yes.
So maybe tell us a bit more. What is forensic dentistry?
Okay, so forensic dentistry is basically a branch of dentistry that deals mainly with the handling, analysis, and examination of dental and oral structures for legal purposes.
Okay, you're gonna have to bring it back home. So, just as an example, what situations would then require a forensic dentist? Like, what kind of a case would require that?
Okay, there are many areas where a forensic dentist will be needed. For example, dental structures are known to be one of the most resilient tissues in the body. Mm-hmm. So, a forensic dentist or forensic odontologist will be called upon if there has been a body that's been found that's very decayed or that's been burnt. So they can't use obviously like the muscles and other tissues, and because in situations like that, dental structures are very resilient. You'll find that the teeth are still there in the skull, and the mandible or the maxilla, and even the tongue sometimes is still, because it's covered by so much outside structures, that it can be preserved. So then a forensic dentist will be called in that situation to be able to identify the body. Forensic odontologists are also involved in lip print analysis, where if your lip prints were left either on a straw or on a wine glass or on a coffee mug, we can be able to identify you using that, victim or perpetrator using that, because lip prints are unique to everyone, similarly to fingerprints. Another example where a forensic odontologist or forensic dentist will be needed is for victim identification again, using post-mortem and ante-mortem records. This is why I like to stress a lot to my colleagues that record keeping is very important, because if there is a case where somebody needs to be identified, we will approach the dentist, the everyday dentist, for records. So everything that you do needs to be recorded. Make notes, take pictures, take x-rays, because when we find a body and we are doing post-mortem examination, we link that up with the ante-mortem records to try to decide if this is the same person that we're looking for. So I'm always stressing how important that is to all my dentist friends. Like, record keeping is extremely important. And then in ante-mortem and post-mortem analyses, there can always be those things that are qualifiable, and those that aren't qualifiable. Another example where a forensic dentist will be required is during a mass disaster. For example, a plane crash. And obviously when you have a plane crash, body parts become scattered all over. So an arm there, a foot there, a skull there, a jaw there, So obviously forensic dentists will be required to do the dental and oral part of it in order for us to be able to gather all the body parts and link them to one person. So the forensic pathologist will do DNA analysis and bloods and other kinds of analyses for whatever is available for them. The forensic dentist will do the teeth and the jaws and other perioral structures that might be available to them. The fingerprint specialist will do fingerprints, if they're also available. And with all the body parts that are available, then we link up all, the data that will be collected, and we can decide that no, this is one person, in order for us to formulate a report back to the family, and then give them a body for them to be able to bury.
So mass disasters become a lot of teamwork.
It's a lot of teamwork. It's very multidisciplinary, and it takes long. So,
I can imagine.
yes. So that's another part of forensic dentistry. And then there's also bite mark analysis.
Oh, those we know from movies.
Yes. So there's bite mark analysis. So if, for example, a rape case, and in the process of this person getting raped, the perpetrator bit them during the struggle. In order to decide if this is the perpetrator, they will call a forensic dentist to analyze the bite marks that are found on the victim, and decide if the potential suspect that we have is in fact the one who bit the victim. Also, we use bite mark analysis to decide if they're actually human bites.
Oh, wow.
Because sometimes it's not always human bites. You get a bite mark and you can't really decide if you know exactly what happened to this person. So we're able to determine if it was a human bite, or if it was another type of species that bit this person. And also where you get, for example, house break-ins. For some weird reason, when people break into people's houses, they always feel the need to eat.
Oh, I've seen that. They like bite the cheese,
Yes,
right?
they
For
bite
some
into
reason,
cheese,
it's always
they
the
bite
cheese.
they bite into polony, and they leave bite marks behind. So with that, we can reconstruct those bite marks and recreate the dentition of said person who did the burglary, or whatever the case is.
I think it's so awesome. Like, most times, everything you're saying sounds like something I watch in a series. To actually know that there are people who actually do that
It's
in
very
real life,
interesting.
it's super
very,
awesome.
very interesting. And it's such an unexplored part of dentistry. Like, there is so much to learn, and it's so interesting. I think more people should get interested in, being a part of this.
No, for sure. Now, for me, it's like I can live real life TV by just going to do forensic dentistry, which brings me to then, who can do forensic dentistry and how do they go about it?
Okay, basically, you need a dental degree in order for you to be able to do forensic dentistry. It's a 5-year undergrad degree in either BDS or BCHD, depending on where you study. And then thereafter, you can do your postgraduate studies in forensic odontology. I know the University of Pretoria offers a 2-year diploma, as well as UWC. And they also offer master's programs as well in forensic odontology. And I know a few places abroad that also offer forensic odontology as a course. I know the University of Dundee offers a master's in it. A few universities in India and Australia also offer it, and the US as well. I know Canada doesn't really offer it as a diploma or a master's, but you can do certain courses. Don't quote me on this. Obviously, you'll do a little bit more research on your own, but I know they offer short courses on it. But I know for sure University of Pretoria and the University of the Western Cape here in South Africa offers it.
No, it sounds like something worth exploring. But for you personally, what is it that you love the most about it?
I think for me, mass disasters
Wow.
would be. I think it's the challenge.
Yeah.
I think it's the most challenging part. I think it's the most emotionally draining, physically draining. It's a lot of work, but I also feel like the reward at the end of it is also quite great, because at the end of the day, I just think of the families.
Yeah.
If you, as a person, you've lost your loved one in such a tragic manner, the one thing you need is closure. And if we can provide that for families in by way of us, being able to gather all this evidence and gather all this data for us to be able to give family members a body to bury and give them that kind of closure. I think it's very important. So I think mass disasters
Yeah,
for me
no,
would
it
be,
definitely sounds like high pressure. Obviously, very emotional times that,
Yeah.
but very rewarding because once it's done, then there's so much coverage in different aspects that
Yeah.
then happens. Okay, no, this
And I think another thing that I want to say about forensic dentistry or forensics in general is the respect that one needs to have for the body that you're dealing with. I'm talking now in terms of if the body is deceased. I think it's very important for me to stress that you need to handle these bodies with the utmost respect, because this is someone, this is someone with a past, this is someone who thought they would have a future, they have family, and just because the person is now deceased and they're not breathing anymore doesn't mean you just go in there haphazardly, start cutting and chopping, and you have to have a certain level of respect that you handle these bodies with. So I think
So what she's saying now just reminds me of a series I'm not going to mention that I always watch. Like they always go in and they pray over the body first, or they chat to the body. So it makes sense. There's a whole lot of respect that
Yes.
goes through to that. And obviously you are now the last contact in
Yeah.
a way, and you have to speak on their behalf
Yeah.
by either identifying them or just saying what it is that
that
happened to them. So
that's true.
it's very emotional.
And
actually.
also every country has its own laws when it comes to forensics, and every religion has its own beliefs of how a deceased body should be handled. There are religious things you need to consider. There are spiritual things you need to consider. You have to consult the family, like, if there are any, if they have any boundaries towards how you're going to be approaching this person. So you need to take all of that into consideration. You don't just go in there like, this is how I was trained. There are certain things that the family won't allow you to do. There's certain things that the country that you're working in has restrictions over, and spiritually and religiously. So you need to take all of that into consideration as well.
I'm so glad you came here. I learned a lot today. So really
Glad I
fun
could
time.
teach you something.
Oh, thanks. So then, how do people find you? Do you have any socials? Do we get to contact you?
I am only available on Instagram, and my Instagram handle is nokwanda_D_. I'm not very active, but I am there. If you DM me, I'll definitely see it. But I don't really post much, but I'm definitely there. I will find you, and you will find me too.
It can be accessed somehow,
Yes.
eventually.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun.
So did I. And that's it for today. And that is all things dentistry with me, Dr. Mpumendwandwe. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for notifications on more episodes.